Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to achieve fuller, more defined brows, and I did recently grow out my eyebrows. It does change depending on the makeup look, but this is the more universal way that I like to fill in my brows. Firstly, I like to run a spoolie or a clear mascara wand through my brows just to tidy things up and put them in the direction that I want them to go. Then I like to take a concealer. This is Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer in Beige. This is one shade lighter than my skin tone, so it does give me a slightly highlighted look, and it just helps to carve out the shape that I want to use on my brow. And this is just a really good tip. By applying the concealer first, it just creates a more natural effect instead of it looking too harsh. I do go over the concealer afterwards as well, just to create a little bit more definition, but of course this is completely optional. And you want to make sure that the concealer is as close to the hairs as possible, as this just gives it more definition. Next, I'm going to be taking my Brow Bar to Go in the lightest shade, and I'm going to be taking the lightest shade from this palette and applying this through my brows first. The reason why I like to apply a lighter shade to my brows and not a black or brown shade is because my eyebrows are quite full now, and if I do apply too dark of a powder, it just looks too much for my face. I've mentioned this before, my face is fairly small and it just can't take too much of stuff like this. From learning from the past, I just feel like dark brows don't suit me. So I have learned that the darker brows aren't necessarily the best thing for my face shape. So I like to use a lighter brow powder just to go through my brows to define it slightly but not to be too dark. So then I like to take the slightly darker shade from the same palette and just use this to sculpt out my arch, and also use it in any other areas that I need definition. And the brush that I am using is a MAC 263 brush. It's short and it is quite dense, so that means it does pick up quite a bit of product, so it is really good for powders. After I'm done with that, I do like to brush through with the spoolie again just to make sure that I'm getting it through to all the little brow hairs. And then I like to go over it with a tinted brow mascara, and what this does is it just gets in between all the little hairs, keeps all the hairs in place, and also makes the brows look more textured. And what that does is it makes the hair look fuller. So I really need this because my hairs are quite thin. They're quite sparse and thin, so when I do this, it makes them look a lot more full. Then I like to go through with the spoolie again just to make sure everything is in place. And lastly, I'm going to be going through with a brow pencil. The reason why I use a very small amount of this brow pencil is because I like to mimic the stroke of hairs, and what this does is it just makes the look more natural. As you can see, I'm going in little wispy motions, and what that does is it just mimics hair and it just looks so much more natural. So what I like to do is just use this mostly on the arch area rather than the front. I usually like to leave the front free, and then I just go underneath with a bit of concealer just to clean up anything that we may have dropped down there. And then if necessary, you can go above the arch as well and just clean anything that you want from above it. I don't like to do this too often because sometimes it is very easy to go too far with it. As you can see guys, the difference from the right to the left is phenomenal. I really like the way that my brows are now. I like them looking brown instead of black because it can be too harsh, and this is how it looks with a full face of makeup. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye!